headlines at this hour on VTV News. A ceremony was held to celebrate Vietnam Science and Technology Day. And businesses continue to secure export orders. In our world news, Russian president to visit China.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chính attended a ceremony to celebrate Vietnam Science and Technology Day on Wednesday morning. The event also honored the 65th anniversary of the establishment of the Ministry of Science and Technology and the 2024 Thap Award ceremony. At the event, the Prime Minister highlighted many guidelines and policies focused on developing science and technology and promoting the role of intellectuals and scientists. While praising the scientists' contributions to the field's development, he also encouraged everyone, especially the youth, to apply technology to their tasks. The government leader also outlined 6 key tasks for the future. These include establishing mechanisms and policies for inclusive and comprehensive science and technology, ensuring appropriate investment, and improving the quality of human resources. The National Assembly Standing Committee, chaired by Vice Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, provided feedback on the report on resolving and responding to voters' petitions. This report was submitted for the Friday session of the 15th National Assembly on Wednesday. According to the report, 2,216 petitions have been compiled and transferred to competent agencies. 99.5% of the petitions have been resolved and are responded to. Accordingly, the National Assembly has made many adjustments to ensure the feasibility, stability, and long-term implementation of laws. However, a number of deputies failed to meet the deadline to hand in the summary report of voters' petitions. Some petitions fall under local authority but are still submitted to the central government. According to the National Assembly's public petition report in April, voters and citizens expressed concern about hot and dry weather, food poisoning cases, and labor incidents, and are hoping for an effective recovery solution. The management and supervision of goal activities are also issues of concern. According to the Ho Chi Minh City's Department of Industry and Trade, export orders for businesses in the first quarter of 2024 saw many positive changes, with both output and quantity increasing. This trend is expected to continue throughout the second quarter. Accompanying this growth of businesses is the role of trade connections through the trade exhibition activities of the industry and trade sector.
2 containers of fresh coconuts are exported every week to the Dubai market. 1 container of seedless lemons and dragon fruit per week is sent to the Oman market. By participating in trade fairs organized by Ho Chi Minh City's industry and trade sector,
we provide the same quantity to partners every week, ensuring high stability. This helps us diversify the markets and create more segments for export during the harvesting period.
The rice enterprise, which continuously signed orders at the fair via live streams, has impressed international buyers and received 2 additional large orders.
As soon as the store opened, one American partner, Costco, and one Indian customer contacted us to connect and bring our products into the supermarket system.
International purchasing delegations have determined that Vietnamese businesses have prepared very carefully this year in terms of goods, packaging, and marketing, and have offered competitive prices.
So we are seeing more. See, you have to understand there are 19 companies which has come. So we are seeing more. So we really like the furniture. So we want to sign an MOU. Similarly, we'll see in leather bag.
According to the Ho Chi Minh City Department of Industry and Trade, the agricultural, forestry, and fishery group's export products made a significant breakthrough, reaching $2 billion.
The main goal of the fair is that, in addition to having strong export products, there must be a strategy to gradually improve the quality of Vietnamese goods more sustainably.
The industry and trade sector also suggested that businesses should make good use of resources and opportunities from the Free Trade Agreement or FTAs that Vietnam has signed to expand their markets.
As of the end of April, 5 groups of Vietnam's exports to China reach a value of over $1 billion, an increase of 3 groups compared to the same period last year, according to the latest statistics from the General Department of Customs. These 3 groups of goods are cameras, camcorders, and components, fruits and vegetables, and machinery, equipment, tools, and spare parts. The remaining 2 groups are computers, electronic products and components, and phones and components. Notably, the phone and component group is the only billion-dollar group experienced a decline in export value. Thus, it has lost its positions as Vietnam's largest export group to China. By the end of April, Vietnam's goods exports to China had reached nearly $18 billion, up nearly 11% compared to the same period last year. The export of Vietnamese livestock products earned $152 million in the first 4 months of this year, a 3.6% increase compared to the same period last year. To date, Vietnamese livestock products have been exported to over 40 countries and territories. Poultry products have entered markets in 10 countries, including those with strict requirements on disease and food safety, such as Japan, Russia, and Hong Kong, China. The country's processed poultry eggs have been exported to Australia and many Asian countries. Vietnam has also successfully exported fresh chicken eggs to Hong Kong, China, and the Maldives, averaging 25 to 30 million eggs per year. Currently, the Department of Animal Health is promoting negotiations to export poultry products to South Korea, the European Union, the Middle East, and Africa. Simultaneously, they are proposing to expand the number of production enterprises allowed to export to markets that have already been opened. In the first 4 months of this year, Dong Nai attracted over $685 million in foreign direct investment, or FDI, a 31% increase compared to the same period last year. This places the province among the top 6 localities nationwide in terms of FDI attraction. Dong Nai's industrial parks alone attracted over 60 projects in the past 4 months. Many investors believe that the Long Thanh International Airport enhances the locality's advantages in logistics and the development of aviation commerce services, which are also very favorable for goods transportation. The province also commits to providing maximum support to investors, promptly addressing difficulties and obstacles, and transparently disclosing information about projects. By 2025, 100% of expressways will be equipped with smart traffic systems. This is one of the goals set out in the plan to apply technology to road management approved by the Prime Minister. Realizing this goal is one of the key tasks set by the Ministry of Transport, as it will contribute to ensuring traffic safety and protecting infrastructure.
At any given time, 45 officers work at the Hanoi-Hải Phòng Expressway Operations Center. They operate 58 surveillance cameras that monitor the entire route. Any accidents that occur are detected to provide timely solutions and ensure smooth traffic flow. Information about the traffic situation on the route is posted on the LED screens to notify drivers. From this information, they can choose the most appropriate path. Additionally, an automatic load weighing system has been installed to support the center in road management and operation.
The automatic load weighting system will promptly detect oversized and overloaded vehicles. The data will be transmitted in the operation center, helping us reject these vehicles. This ensures safety and maintains road quality.
Although it is effective so far out of more than 30 expressways with a total length of 1,829 kilometers put into operation, only 8 have had investments in smart traffic systems. This is the reason why the Ministry of Transport has directed units to urgently review and invest in completing the intelligent traffic system and the operation centers for expressway projects, especially the components of the North-South Expressway.
Capital has been mobilized to deploy the smart traffic system for the components of the North-South Expressway project Phase 1. For Phase 2 component projects, the Ministry of Transport has started reviewing plans to concurrently implement the smart traffic system and load weighting system once these projects go into operation.
The Ministry of Transport is actively developing standard regulations for the operation of smart traffic systems. The ministry also requires units to use the same management software to ensure connectivity. This is crucial as traffic control centers for adjacent expressways will be linked, ensuring synchronized management operations.
Now, before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate of today, May 15th. Coming up next on VTV News. Guangnam promotes regulation compliance in offshore fishing. And Vietnam participates in Frankfurt International Tourism Fair. Now moving on to other news, urgent support has been provided for those affected by the fire at the Mary Wilska shopping center in Warsaw, Poland. The fire resulted in the near total destruction of 600 stalls operated by almost 400 Vietnamese small businesses at the Mary Wilska shopping center. In response, the Vietnamese Association in Poland, along with the Business Association, Women's Association, and various associations, have formed a community support committee. This committee is mobilizing the Vietnamese community in Poland and neighboring countries to donate funds and provide emotional support to those affected by the fire. Ambassador Ha Hoàng Hai announced that the Vietnamese embassy in Poland will increase its consular services, adding an additional weekly reception session to handle documents for those impacted by the disaster. Removing the yellow fishing card is an important task for coastal provinces and cities. Many localities in the south-central region are actively implementing solutions and overcoming shortcomings and limitations in their fishery activities. Our next story is from Guangnam Province.
In recent times, although there have been few violations by Guangnam fishermen's boats regarding fishing in international waters, there are still instances of non-compliance with fishing procedures, techniques, and regulations. The understanding of international law and fishing errors among some fishermen is still quite limited. Therefore, local authorities still need to continue to educate and guide the people.
The commune has organized an invitation for fishermen to promote the fisheries law and combat fishing in violation of Europe's IUU. They are also providing training to help people understand the law.
The locality continues to organize propaganda on content related to protections and the prohibitions of illegal fishing and exploitation according to regulations, especially for offshore fishing vessels.
Currently, there are still gaps in monitoring and controlling the activities of offshore fishing vessels in Guangnam Province to prevent illegal fishing, which is harmful to the environment and coastal marine ecology. Local authorities continue to encourage fishermen to strictly comply with regulations.
We encourage people to exploit fishing grounds correctly, within the appropriate scope and under the right conditions, according to regulations. We ensure compliance with the provisions of international law as well as Vietnam's law.
Removing the EU's yellow card is a crucial task for coastal provinces and cities involved in the fisheries sector. In addition to educating and encouraging fishermen not to violate legal regulations on combating IUU fishing, Guangnan Province resolutely handles organizations and individuals that fail to fulfill their tasks, impacting the country's overall effort.
VNEID becomes a single app for public administrative services from July 1st, according to the government's direction. This change aims to simplify procedures for individuals while also facilitating operational management. However, in the highland communes in Guangning Province, local ethnic people continue to experience difficulties using VNEID accounts. A report from Điền Xá Commune, Tiên Yên District, where ethnic groups account for 96% of the population.
This woman, like many locals in this highland area, does not have a smartphone. A police officer guides her to register for a Level 2 electronic identity account on his phone. He also tells her all the public services she can use on this application.
The officer gave me very specific instructions. We can get public service with this VNEID application without having to carry related documents. The party and state is promoting digital transformation in public administration, which is very good.
Most households share one or two smartphones in the family. In such cases, the commune police have to use their phones to help them register and give them step-by-step instructions.
Apart from the lack of equipment, difficulties also arise from the lack of local awareness on the importance of electronic identification accounts.
My phone was lagging, so I deleted the app. I reinstalled after listening to the officers. It's convenient to have all documents anywhere I go.
Điền Xá Commune is home to 318 households, of which 96% of the residents are part of ethnic groups. After a year of implementation, the Level 2 electronic identification installation rate reached over 75%. From May this year, the commune will cooperate with telecommunications companies to receive free 4G SIM cards and smartphone discounts.
The locals find paper results of public services more reliable than electronic versions. We will continue to implement programs to change people's mindsets and persistently carry out instructions.
The district strives for 100% non-cash payment rate in public service transactions and payment. We will also work on increasing the use of digital signatures of individuals and businesses.
Tiên Yên District is promoting the implementation of online public services at levels 3 and 4, which address essential procedures related to land, electricity, water, and telecommunications.
The award ceremony for the 108-story financial tower architectural plan competition of the North Hanoi Smart City project took place on Tuesday night. 4 leading consulting units participated in the competition. The first prize went to the architectural plan of Skidmore, Owings and Merrill of USA. The tower design includes a 360-degree view and optimized solar energy. The highlight of this design is a special space in the observation hall of the top of the building, stimulating the lunar cycle that changes throughout the day. The North Hanoi Smart City is a project implemented by the BRG Group of Vietnam and the Suzuki Group of Japan, with 5 construction phases built on an area of more than 270 hectares in the Đông Anh district on the Nhật Tân Nội Bài Road. With a total investment of approximately $4.2 billion, the project plays a crucial role in urban planning along the Red River in Hanoi. It also signifies the diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Japan. On Tuesday, the IMEX Travel Fair, Europe's largest fair specializing in conference and event tourism, opened in the German city of Frankfurt. A business delegation from Ho Chi Minh City participated in the fair, aiming to develop a specific tourism segment that is experiencing a strong recovery worldwide.
The IMEX Travel Fair is exclusively designed to connect travel companies specializing in organizing events, seminars, and exhibitions. It is not open to the general public. When organizing events abroad, travel agencies rely on on-site services such as transportation, accommodation, meals, and general logistics.
Ho Chi Minh City is currently eager to develop and attract more conference and seminar tourist groups. This is because the city has a convenient transportation system, rich tourism resources, and especially large infrastructure and accommodation services, which can completely attract tourists to major world conferences and seminars.
Conference tourism is rebounding strongly. After the pandemic, companies realized that online meetings were cheaper and more convenient. However, they are only effective for groups of 5 or 10 people. For larger gatherings, face-to-face meetings prove to be much more effective. People who travel abroad for business typically do not have to bear the cost of major expenses such as flights or hotels. These are usually covered by business travel expenses or handled by a partner, giving them more money to spend on personal activities.
After the main conference is over, each guest has their own needs, so their extra pocket money is a significant source of income for the tourism industry. This means that in addition to the fact that we charge their company for hotels, restaurants, catering and shuttle buses, they also bring their families, which is an additional source of income.
Ho Chi Minh City sends business delegations to international fairs to stay updated on current event tourism trends. There are many favorable conditions, including a 45-day visa exemption policy for many European countries, and soon another direct flight from Munich to Ho Chi Minh City, adding to the 3 existing direct flights from London, Paris, and Frankfurt.
Lotus is one of the key industries in Đồng Tháp province. Recently, the province has implemented many solutions to increase the value of lotus. These include developing tourism products and services, organizing the introduction, promotion and supply of lotus products, and promoting lotus cuisine. In response to the Đồng Tháp Lotus Festival, which will take place from May 16th to 19th, tourist businesses in the province have created many dishes made from lotus. Their aim is to make this year's festival an unforgettable moment for visitors.
Roasted chicken, steamed fish, hot pot, and many other dishes are imbued with different elements of the lotus plant. This special menu has been developed several months in advance to prepare for the second Đồng Tháp Lotus Festival, promoting the province specialty.
My restaurant has prepared special lotus menu items for this year's festival, introducing Đồng Thap's lotus through cuisine. That is also one of the ways to enhance Đồng Thap's popularity as a tourist destination.
In addition to familiar dishes, lotus root salad with shrimp and meat, and chicken stewed with lotus root, the chefs have also created a number of dishes featuring the Mekong Delta's characteristics. These new dishes were developed following a training class organized by the Provincial Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism.
We are introducing new dishes at the second Đồng Tháp Lotus Festival to diversify the province's tourism products. The festival also supports lotus farmers and contributes to spreading Đồng Thap's image.
The second Lotus Festival event is an opportunity to attract a large number of tourists to Đồng Tháp for visits, experiences and enjoyment of local cuisine. Therefore, our expectation is that after the training course on skills in processing lotus dishes, the tourism units will become ambassadors of Đồng Tháp lotus cuisine, introducing it to both domestic and foreign tourists.
According to the Đồng Tháp Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism, with 200 dishes made from lotus, the province is in the process of building the lotus cuisine brand associated with each tourist attraction in the province. This is gradually bringing lotus dishes to both local people and tourists and spreading the love of lotus to everyone.
Coming up next in our world news, Russian president to visit China. And summer 2023 was the hottest in 2,000 years, according to the recent study. Now moving on to our world news. According to Kremlin, Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit China on Thursday and Friday, the first foreign trip of his new 6-year term. The two sides will discuss in detail the entire range of issues of the comprehensive partnership and strategic cooperation. They will identify key areas for further development of the Russian-Chinese practical cooperation and exchange views in detail on the most pressing international and regional issues. The Kremlin said the Russian president and his Chinese counterpart would sign a joint statement after the meeting. Earlier, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin said that Beijing attaches great importance to the diplomatic efforts of the two leaders in developing bilateral relations. U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday unveiled steep tariff increases on an array of Chinese imports, including electric vehicle or EV batteries, computer chips, and medical products. The new measures affect $18 billion in imported Chinese goods, including steel and aluminum, semiconductors, electric vehicles, critical minerals, solar cells, and cranes. The tariff rate on electric vehicles is expected to quadruple from roughly 25% to 100%. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for China's foreign ministry said at a news briefing that the country opposes to the U.S. unilateral tariff increases and will take all necessary measures to safeguard its legitimate rights and interests. Last year's Northern Hemisphere summer was the hottest in 2,000 years, according to a new study published on Tuesday. Scientists had declared last year's June to August period as the warmest since record-keeping began in the 1940s. However, a new work published in the journal Nature suggests the 2023 heat eclipsed temperatures over a far longer timeline. Last year's intense summer heat was amplified by the El Nino climate pattern, which typically coincides with warmer global temperatures, leading to a longer and more severe heat waves and extended periods of drought. Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app of VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.